let's get into FAVE real quick. Okay, FAVE dropped her EP called Dutty Love. Big Dutty Gal. That's a tag, right? Big Dutty Gal. I used to think it was something else. Actually, somebody spelled it out. That is Dutty Gal. Regardless, man, it's FAVE. We're out here for her latest EP. 7-track EP. We do know some songs from this EP prior getting into it, of course. We do know, if you've been paying attention, we do know Controlla. Correct me if I'm wrong. We do know No Games. Correct me if I'm wrong. These are the songs that we've tapped into from her prior to this. Yep, No Games. I had my reservations about No Games. Controlla as well. Controlla was a fire record. Fire record. No Games as well was positive, but I had some commas with that one. All right. But anyway, we'll get into this one, Dutty Love. I'm excited about this new EP. I've heard good things about the EP so far, even though we missed it last week. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, FAVE has really, like, over time, has let us know that she's a talent that is on the cusp of, like, really taking off. And obviously, everyone's rooting for her. Very talented. She has scored big numbers in Nigerian landscape. I think it was in 2022 or 2021 where she scored a massive hit with her record Baby Rhythm. It's been up since then. She had a fire moment with Fever. She had a crazy verse with Lona this year as well that really is one for the books. Obviously contender for one of the strongest guest features, to be honest. Over time, she has definitely established a style and a voice, and I think it's fairly unique. And stands out because she has some little bit of that dancehall flair to it that has that going for her. So I'm excited for what this records are gonna sound like. Let's get into it without any further ado. First track, Dutty Love song. Let's see what we're saying, man. Does she still have a producer here too? Oh, the Elements? Okay. Oh, we up. Okay.
You blew my mind, and you paid a price.
The Elements are cooking.
In my sleep, this is real life shit. When you said you loved me, I was lovely. I needed company.
Okay.
When you said you loved me, I was foolish enough to believe.
Okay. We're getting into the cusp of like that EDM house element, and I am here for it. The build up was cooking. It was cooking nicely, and the drop was definitely worth it. So far, I'm definitely in the pocket. This is very audacious for first track too, and I'm here. I'm subscribed for it. I love what she's doing, obviously, in the build up, and we're about to get to the second verse, man. Let's go.
When you got me breaky while I got dessert. In the middle of my hurt, I put you first. Told you time wasn't frozen. How about you make it when you say you, but you don't mean no. When you said you love me, I needed company.
Okay.
When you said you love me,
The Elements, bro.
I was foolish enough to believe.
Oh, you can hear in the back. Oh, that's sleek. That's quite the intro. I love the energy we came in with. Even though it was on, like, if you're paying attention to what she's saying, it's some kind of like heartbreak perspective that she's coming in from. But regardless, man, I love that little the little mix of that. You're hearing some level of piano percussions on the drop, but it has this very cozy house nature to it that it just makes it feel smooth. It has that Euro-centric element to it that's going for it. And shout out to the Elements, of course. I think they are they Swedish or where are they from? But I know they're basically foreign producers. And they've worked with Burna, they've worked with a bunch of Nigerians as well. But right now, this moment with them is sounding very sleek, very cozy. She sounds natural on this. I really want to see her in more EDM spaces because I thought she has a great voice for it. She has a great atmosphere. Just overall, it just meets the direction that she was going for sonically. No matter where this is going, man. First track, how we feeling so far, man? How we feeling? Everyone is one up on this one. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm here for it, man. That was good. That was a vibe. That was an immediate vibe. We didn't have any second guessing or saying like, where is this going? You know what I mean? Like the build up was so nice. The arrangement, the structure of it. I'm here for it, man. That was good. Dutty Love song. A strong impression on that first one. Let's get into the next one, man. Complicated. All right.
It's complicated. Should I confiscate your cell phones? Are you done with typing? I don't appreciate comments when you talk about me. I don't wanna be so you. I want it all. I want it all. Can't have just a piece of you. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. First off,
There's something nostalgic about this.
so when they ask me what's my status, I think for about 5 minutes and I say it's complicated. It's because of you. It's because of you. It's complicated. See how you did all of me. Didn't know that we ever must go on. I don't wanna be so I don't wanna be so you. I want it all. I want it all.
That's exactly what it is. It feels like that Facebook song. You know that song that talks about Facebook love? Because the song is talking about her status, and when she's asked, she has to say that it's complicated. That's exactly the trigger of memory that is coming back to me. And obviously the production has this very early P-Square like nature to it. It feels like something that they would have done in probably the Get Square or late night like album. Or am I bugging for that? It just feels like she can be like the female vocalist for that one. But the entire percussion, the entire feel for it is definitely taking me back to like the early 2000s type of atmosphere. And I'm here for it. It has a little bit of that calypso or that reggaeton kind of bounce to it rather. And regardless, man, it's not a bad record so far, man. All right, so far we've gotten very, not necessarily like to the world or Afrobeat to the world, or essentially we've gotten very, very like foreign packaging from these first two songs. Not to say that that's a letdown or anything. It's not necessarily cut into the Nigerian flair yet. On these first two tracks, it feels very, very rather like kind of common denominator, like love songs. Like you can see the Caribbean market tapping into this. You can see like just the Western market tapping into this as well. It just has that very, very neutralizing type of feeling to it, where the Africanness hasn't really jumped out at you. There's a few pigeon lines here and there, but I don't think it's really made its presence known. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but it's just something that I've observed so far with these first two tracks. But let's see how much we can get that sense of, like oneness in that or in international facing kind of look, even though it doesn't have to be international facing per se. It's just music at the end of the day. But maybe it's that level of like separation that she might be having from the market. We never know, but we'll see. We'll see with the next track. Hey man, let's check out the next track with Controlla, which we've heard, and I want a refresher from this record because I remember loving it. So let's see, man. Let's see where it goes.
There's no gimmicking around here, okay? So I am the one.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Oh, I love this record.
I can see you like it.
Oh, the Ashake one.
Control on my body like a psychic. Ashake, baby, never see you coming. Motorcycle, better keep it running.
I like this.
For me, I'm 2 steps ahead of you. And I'm one up to you. So I let you take control. Cause he makes you happy. You know, go be busted, you know. See, I feel take care of you. But I wanna pop a show.
Oh, she was floating on
Just
this one.
keep me happy.
Very toxic record, low key, man. This was Nifty's, by the way. Let's go. Crazy. All right. Very short, very simple. 2 minute 30. Doing it's just getting straight to the point, you know. Absolutely love where this one is sitting so far on the project. Obviously loved this record before going into this project, so we are here. We're already tucked in. The flow on that post chorus it's so nice. It's so effortless, and it just catches you on the vibe. And this record definitely deserves a lot more eyeballs, a lot more look to it. It's Fave in her pocket. This is her like obviously making that like style and that flow so effortlessly her. At the end of the day, I don't see many people approaching this beats like that, and I think it was nice. I think it was nice so far with this particular record. This was a very toxic way, toxic song in a subtle way. Saying she's basically given control, but in a way that it needs to be keeping her entertained and happy at the end of the day, which is like, yeah, man, but you're giving control for the wrong reasons, which is, yeah, that's another topic for another day. But regardless, I think this was a fantastic record to kick in as a single, even building up into the project, and it sits nicely on so far on the run of the EP, man. Let's get into the next track, new track. Here, this one's called Juju.
If I say I don't like it, I'm lying, I do. Cause you treat me like we're lovers in 1992. Like Juju, I don't demo moon. Cause you know calling me, you know texting me, I know there's a reason. Like Juju, we could be fighting but I want you, yeah. There is no music if you are not here. Through the magic, through the waves, life is nothing if I don't keep you.
Production on this one, it seems rather novice-esque, to be honest. So far at least. That's why I had to check again and double check, because it doesn't seem like it's her producer yet. The song that has some level of safety that's going into it, but it seems rather uneventful when it comes to the production. And I guess a lot of things could, I'm saying eventful because essentially it's a slower tempo, it's a lot more mellow of an atmosphere, but I've not necessarily gotten any like strike or anything that really jumps at you with this particular one so far. But let's finish it up though.
You know calling me, you know texting me, I know there's a reason.
Okay, I see it.
Calling me out, my baby, you know calling me, yeah.
All right. Cool. That was Juju. In terms of her vocal presence compared to everything else, to be honest, a little bit on the mild side when it comes to just the overall presence. Maybe it's the production, and granted I see what was trying to really pick things up, but rather late into the song, really the outro, getting some sax horns in there to kind of like spice things up. I see it. Okay. And it's not necessarily a brilliant moment when it comes to her vocal presence as well. Like I mentioned, she was forced to essentially drag some words and drag some notes that she necessarily needed to. The tempo, I would blame the tempo really to it. I don't think she felt comfortable on this particular song. I didn't really see that ease and comfort that she has so far with the other tracks. But it is what it is. That's that one track 4. Probably the least favorite so far in the spin. But how you guys feel about that one? I see some ones still. It looks like you guys are still holding this one tight. Alright, I see ones. I just can't get the way she sings certain words. I see it. I'll be enjoying the song, and Fave would remix her. That's when it comes to be honest, the remixing of the words thing, you only see that with artists that have a style, man. And you get this with like artists like Omale, for instance. Omale, they remix what? Taya, bro. You would think, is that what he was trying to say? Like, I remember one line from, which song was it? On the Boy Alone album, when he was trying to reference Patorankin's Wilma album, and he says it's like something Patorankin, I Velma or something, and he just twisted that word, and I'm like, that's not what he meant, right? But anyway, yeah, it happens with very, very unique artists, and to be honest, I don't mind it. I don't mind it in this very saturated space. Was it Reason? I don't think it was Reason. Reason came on the Deluxe. It was before the Deluxe. She be like, she know like Gara Naughty. Anyway, man. But yeah, there are many artists that butcher words just to make it sound sweet and good. And so I mean, yeah, Fave is not innocent when it comes to that. But I love it though. I love when it happens. It makes for a very very unique style of delivery at the end of the day. Let's get to the next track, Lose My Mind. Okay. All right, we're picking up the tempo a little bit more now.
But I love you, can we have a tete-a-tete? But if the heart is bad, why am I here? The thing you make me do it, they make me lose my mind. How you know they make me lose my mind? And the thing you make me do it, they make me lose my mind. My baby, they make me lose my mind.
Interesting. For a piano record, it felt like for the dynamics of the production, I would have loved to see a bit more extremes. I might be nitpicking now at this point. But let's get into the song.
If at all I lose sight of what's right, you keep me focused, but I can hear you have the time, so I make up some. And now when I lose it, you make it lose it, let me do it, and you got me thinking, how do you love me so much? You're by my side up to December, I don't need nobody and then you can count my blessing, but they don't count the now you.
Okay, background vocals. All right, shut me right up. When I was talking about the production not feeling as dynamic as I really wanted to, there's a little bit of a of a moment there, and especially after we just introduced the crowd vocals and the choir in the background. I like it. I like what happened in this particular moment here. Kind of transitioned interestingly. What song comes to mind when I'm hearing the shakers on this one? All right, man. Over on this one, Lose My Mind, I'm a piano production piece here, which was still on the tamer side of I'm a piano in some essence. It's not really aggressive as you essentially have seen a lot of people take on I'm a piano from a Nigerian POV. But I'm not mad at this one. It's very subtle, but obviously we saw some crowd vocal elements pick up, especially towards the end. And I love that. I love that moment. I think that would be the easy highlights from this moment. Made me enjoy at least get into the song a lot quicker because of that. And I would have loved the crowd vocals to be much more used, especially from the intro. But she kind of arranged it in a way that obviously makes the song a lot more dynamic. So I'm not mad at that decision. But I definitely would have scored a big one with the crowd vocals just being a part and parcel of the entire structure. I think it would have been cool regardless. But yeah, man, that was not a bad moment. Lose My Mind. How we feeling on this one? I see some ones on that one too. All right, so far a lot of people are leaning favorable on this FAVE EP. I'll say the production, of course. Yeah, like I said, man, the production, of course, you can definitely see some instances where it's like there's a lot of like, I don't know who this producer is, but it definitely feels like they're probably working with her for the first time or something. There's something that is very, very subtle and tame about it. Not to say it's a bad thing, but I can essentially see that throughout a lot of the songs. It's not necessarily punching up like the same way I think Dutty Love song did. I think that was probably the best production moment. But I'd love to see her with a lot more, you know what I mean? A lot more edgy attempts, a lot more like not necessarily predictable style of moments there. Just from a production standpoint, I think she's fitting nicely to many of these songs, with the exception of Juju, but I think she's fitting nicely with these songs. But overall, you can definitely say that there's no bad moment for sure. Let's check out No Games. I love this song, but there's a huge pet peeve of mine that exists on this song, and that's when artists have a little bit of like and it has happened on a few songs where there's like you struck gold with the hook, but you didn't arrange it in a way that drives it home. And that was my issue with this song, No Games. It was fairly worthy of a pre-chorus, and then the hook itself is very short, and it's a fantastic hook. And it just irks my soul that she didn't use a lot more repetition to really drive it in. And that was my issue with this song, and it's a fantastic record, don't get me wrong. But after walking away from the first listen, that was my issue with this particular record. I don't know if in a magical world or in an ideal scenario, maybe she kind of reworked the song. I don't know. I don't expect her to. I don't expect her to. But I remember really voicing it out that I really, really hope that she leaned into the hook, because I think the hook is so freaking good, especially with the crowd vocals backing it up too, man. Anyway, let's get into it. No games. Nifki's again. Okay.
To see you Sunday till Monday.
Sunday day to Monday. I love it.
Stay at your place, locked in the dark, says don't disturb.
Okay. Don't play no fucking games. And she ends it there. And she kills it there. I'm like, nah, run it back. Run it back. Why? Why did we run it back? Why did... Am I crazy for feeling like that? Am I the only one that is crazy for feeling like that? Was such a fantastic hook. Like the transition into that beat switch, that very slight beat switch was so fire. I want to run it back. I personally want to run it back again. Oh my god. It just ended there, bro. Okay.
I know where we'll be when we're 70. Yeah. Now I need
Come on.
your love it to be complete. One baby, to see you. Don't wanna play no fucking games. Don't wanna play no games with you alone.
And that's it. Oh man, Fave irks my soul, but at the end of the day, I still have to recognize that it's a beautiful record, man. A little bit of the arrangement switch up here would have made it a lot even perfect in my eyes, but regardless, I think it's still a very, very clutch hook, especially with the crowd vocals, man. Just the energy of, oh, play no games, don't play no fucking games. That energy, man. Harness it, bro. Like, anyway, regardless, fantastic record. It sits nicely into the project as well. I'm not mad at it. Says short and sweet, can't fault it. Yeah, it's short and sweet, but bro, at least, I just think even the second verse and the pre-chorus again, it was just too much. Too much in between the choruses. And it was just like a lot going on, man, that she could have, like, you know what I mean, made the pre-chorus come in a lot sooner and then get right into the hook again. It would have been easy, and it's just still been shorter because I think she kind of overstayed the second verse into like some weird bridge there. Regardless, man, I don't want to get into the detailing of it, but I think it's still a fine record. It's just missing some parts of it for me. So as you feel, it's a short and sweet song, man. It's a short and sweet record. It's actually pissing me off. Thank you, man. Like the first time I heard the song, it did piss me off too, low key. But regardless, man, fire hook. Okay, like fire moment there. Like the energy on that hook alone. That's should have been fire, man. But let's move on to the next song. Belong to You. Alright? Last track. I know Fioki guitars when I hear it. Okay, I might be wrong. This is Axon. Axon was the producer that worked with Joshua Baraka, if I'm not wrong. That's Axon. Right?
I made up my mind to leave yesterday, but you won't stop calling me. You won't stop telling me all these lies that I seem to believe. Where there ain't no sunrise, where that sun is no bright. All I know is
it's a good outro. It's a good outro. Come on. That's a nice drill bop to it too.
Fucking liar, I hate that I
Energy.
Your wishes, they always come true. See me here with you, like you want it all day and night, like I don't have a lie.
This was the song that had that cover situation.
But you
I remember this.
calling me.
Yeah, let's go. I like this. I like this as the outro. Let's go. All right, man. All right. That was FAVE with Dutty Love EP. This is the second EP. Correct me if I'm wrong. Should be the second EP that we're getting from her. But yeah, man. Ever since we've gotten introduced to, this was the first one, Rhythm, from back in the day. Ever since we got introduced to her, obviously, she's been a heck of a gem. She's been a voice to definitely an obvious force to reckon with. I think when it comes to just the Nigerian music landscape, she's been on the cusp of, I think, strong moments. This EP obviously getting a lot more familiar with her style. I think there was some level of consistency, I would say, regardless of some issues we might have gotten with some production here. I think there's still a direction that was fairly consistent and made this project feel a lot more cohesive than you would see, but still expanding her range of the spaces that she could be on. We got some liking to of a house and EDM feeling with Dutty Love in the beginning, something reggaeton-esque on the next track with Complicated. Controlla, obviously, we saw her tap into a lot more, some of that I guess Nigerian R&B flair too that we've grown to love, which Controlla might be one of my favorite records. Probably is my favorite record, to be honest, on this EP. But next to No Games, and Belong to You is a fire one too, man. When it comes to favorites, it's very hard to choose amongst those three songs. Granted, there were songs that we've gotten to know before getting to this EP, but I don't think she took us so much far away from the realm that, or at least the standard that she set with those three records. We're getting songs that, in some sense, still feel somewhat tame and mild on the production end of things. I would say that easily with Juju. I think the tempo, just the energy, yes, it's tucked into the middle, but it kind of really sucks some energy out of the project spin. And if there's a song that I would say didn't necessarily provide enough to be in the track list, I would say it's that one. But it was still fantastic regardless, for the entire project to still see some depth, just to see some slower mid-tempo energy there. I get that, but I don't think the production really understood or really got to that nature for it. But regardless, it would be my least favorite easily. Lose My Mind was not a bad moment as well, but obviously when it comes to the energies that we've gotten from, I think it's still a fantastic EP, man. Still a fantastic EP. A second effort. Someone might be asking, is she due for a project at this point? But obviously we know the economics of albums and how you really want to go in with a very, very, very strong moment, a strong single. Essentially, she hasn't really scored those ones yet with any of these records leading into this EP. But that's the hope, to see that these songs essentially bring some level of attention. Obviously, with the release of the EP now, it's getting a very competitive time in the ecosystem too, man. A lot of drops, obviously, and we're leading to December, which it's not necessarily a good time else to drop. But I like that she's just throwing this out there and bringing some lights to some of the songs that I feel are very strong. No Games, a strong record. Yes, we've talked about the issues in the arrangement, but obviously she wants us to spin it again. You know what I mean? And hopefully we do. Hopefully people resonate with it. And overall, not a bad EP. Not still a strong follow-up from the first EP, I would say, in terms of the standard. I think she's really positioned herself when it comes to her sound, man. And I think it's one of one, to be honest. It's one of one. It's unique. It still stands out. She has that, obviously that R&B flair, but with her own inflections there. We're just talking about how she twist and bend some words. I like things like that, level of details that make her stand out. And that was really what captivated her in the first intro. from Beautiful Love, you know what I mean, from way back then. And I'm not mad at it, man. I'm not mad at it. Overall rating on this one, I think it's a nice solid 8. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for me. Curious how you guys feel about this one. But that was Dutty Love by FAVE. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this record and what songs are your favorite. I'm leaving here with No Games, Controlla, and Belong to You. Yeah, those would be my top 3. I love Dutty Love too, man. Dutty Love song, I did enjoy that one too. I might squeeze that in there. But regardless, not a bad moment. Not a bad moment, man.